Hey, everybody. Welcome to the first episode of Chasing the Card. I'm James Pratt. And over here we got Mr. Big Poppy Alex Arguelles. And we're going to have today for our first guest for the first episode, Matt King. It's going to be a great show today. A lot of content, a lot of great information. So sit back and hang tight.
Hey,
Appreciate you being on the show. Oh, this is true. That's
it's
true.
morning
Man.
for me.
It's morning for you, right?
Hey, y'all are ending your day.
That's
You work
right.
night shift?
Yeah, I work 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. on my shifts.
Oh, smokes.
Yeah, it makes it interesting.
Yeah, that's
Holy
a whole
smokes.
different perspective on bodybuilding from that
Yeah.
shift.
Yeah. Well, Matt, man, I really, Alex and I really appreciate you being with us, man. Being our first guest on Chasing the Card. Appreciate you being here with us. Oh man, we're stoked about this series, man, and having you being our first guest because, you're killing it here in Arkansas. We know where you're going. I know where you're going, and we'll talk about that here in a little bit. But we know what's coming up for you in July. Man, I'm just so stoked for you, man.
I know
It's going to be awesome.
It's gonna be big. I mean, regardless, win or lose, I'm glad to have the opportunity to go there, and I think going to another big show and a bigger show.
Yeah,
it's just gonna tougher competition helps build me as a bodybuilder. More competition. So I'm excited about it. Go to Vegas. Never gone to Vegas before.
Oh my God, I can't, man. Yeah. That's going to be awesome, man. Well, let's get into that here in a second. But I know you and I have known each other for a while. But what I don't know, and I don't know if Alex knows, but how did you get into bodybuilding? Were you just a skinny kid that wanted to get size, or what? How'd you get into it?
Yeah. I was. I always loved when you're a little kid, like in PE and stuff, they show you all the sports and stuff, and you kind of play a little bit. I loved sports, but I was the skinny kid. I was a quiet kid too. I was stayed in my shell. I had a few friends that were close, but I just kind of stayed to myself. But anyway, I wanted to get into football and stuff when I was a kid. I played t-ball. My parents got me into that. I didn't really like that. Not very coordinated. Not very coordinated in my hands. So, but I always wanted to play a sport. And middle school, they had this thing called athletic PE, and on my middle school was right next to the high school. So we just walk across the field, and we go use their weight room for football, the football weight room. Yeah. And they taught us some PVC pipe. This is how you do bench. This is how you squat. And motions, and I loved it. And but people always, the kids that have already been playing Kiwanis and stuff, we're going to go, they know they're going to go play sports in the high school. They've already probably met the coaches. Their parents are all about it. And that's what I was surrounded by those people. And I was just over there in my shell, and I got a lot of help from a lot of people. But
you did? Did they bully you? Or?
Yeah, pretty bad. I wore an Under Armour shirt to school one day, and one guy was like that I didn't really like, and he didn't like me. He was like, "Why are you wearing that?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" And he's like, "It's Under Armour." He's like, "You're not an athlete. Why are you wearing that?"
Oh man,
just stuff like that. I mean, they just like to push my buttons because they know I wasn't just gonna. I'm not one to just sit there and take,
Yeah.
Being, so I just, but they liked that. They liked how I reacted, and they fed off of that. But I wanted to play football, and my parents told me no because, my parents are, hate to say this, but they're more negative,
Yeah.
And that's kind of why we butt heads a lot. They didn't really, my dad was like, I went to school with a guy I was really good friends with, and he, paralyzed now, blah, 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 football. Yeah. And I'm like, they just, that's all they saw was he's going to get hurt.
Yeah.
So, I really wanted to play, but eventually I started, I was in scouts when I was a kid. So, that adds to the nerdy thing, I was in robotics.
There you go. That's awesome. All right.
Yeah. So, anyway, I went to scouts with this one kid, we became really good friends, and his dad played sports in college. He was a YMCA director. He was around fitness his whole life. He's a, certified trainer. Anyway, he's got a gym in his garage. He's got a Rogue rack. He's got the plates, the Rogue plates, the bar. the mats. And so I actually started doing CrossFit with him. And,
Wow.
you know, there was this one workout called Murph. It was like you run a mile, then you do 100 pull-ups, 200 push-ups, and 300 squats with body weight, and then run another mile. And it's all time, one big time. I did that towards the beginning when I first started. It took me over an hour, like 62 minutes.
Wow.
I did it a year later. I did it in just over 40 minutes.
There you go.
An hour off of my time. I mean, no, not an hour. 20 minutes off my time.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Oh, that's awesome.
But
How
I
long
loved
ago did
it.
you start that?
That was, I was a sophomore in high school when I started CrossFit, I think.
Oh,
so it's been a while. I'm 23 now, and that was I was 17 when I graduated. So I was pretty young. I was like 15.
Oh, you're young. You're a young high school kid.
Yeah. When I started CrossFit, but I wasn't big. You know, I just, I was conditioned as crap. I mean, I was, I pushed it, but I wanted to do football. So I finally, I just butt my head in my pants. I'm like, no, I'm playing football. Like, I've started to work out. Like, you see, I've gained weight. I'm not as small. Like, come on. And I was like, I'll pay for it. Like, I got started working at 16. I've had a job since the day I turned 16, pretty like a month after I got a job. So
okay, man, that's awesome, man.
Yeah, my dad's military, real. You're a man. You So all that stuff.
You got to get out there and get a job and be a man.
Yeah. So anyway, so I was like, all right, I'm doing football, and I joined off season the end of my junior year. So it was almost over. I had one season left. Never played football, never watched football. I don't even know all the positions and what they do.
Oh, man.
So I was like, I just want to go hit somebody. I know I can't play a ball. I tried to play basketball. I tried to get on like the Sonics or whatever when I was in middle school. I tried out twice, didn't make it twice. I only made B team. I was like, I'm not doing that. That's not good enough. I know I can do A team. And I tried like 3 times and I just gave up on basketball. I got hurt more times in basketball than football. I broke my finger. I broke my pinky finger in basketball. I broke so many pairs of glasses. I had these little sports glasses that they look like goggles. Mm-hmm. I got hell for those, trust me. My goggles. Yeah. And so I joined football. I got a varsity letter playing 1 year. Never played
There you
before.
go.
They thought I was going to play when I was in the weight room for off season. That's when I joined, so we were already just lifting, Yeah. My bench from one off season of football, because we didn't really bench in CrossFit. It went from 180 to 250.
That's a lot of weight.
Over the winter, off season.
Yeah.
So that's pretty good. But it's what's funny is, and we talk about this later. We talk about the show, but what's funny is in high school, the coaches gave me crap because I didn't have any legs. I hated doing legs. Hated it. My legs were small. Yeah, no, my legs were small. They were not my strongest body part. My upper body was way bigger in football. So, like I benched 250, my squat was 300. Like, it was bad. Max 300. And my buddies would always tell me, when you put a lot of weight on the bar, you scare us. Your legs are like it's like on pencils. And I was like, yeah, I know. But you know what? I got crap for that. And look at me now.
That's right.
One of my strongest body parts.
I'd probably say that's probably one of your strongest parts now. Yeah.
Your
legs are phenomenal.
Football, I loved it. It took me out of my shell, and it got me more into, strength and compound lifting and stuff. And then I started working out with my uncle, Mark.
Yeah.
He's passed now, but
he's passed.
I honestly was almost closer to him than I was my dad.
Yeah.
He really, kind of took me in, a few times, and helped me out. Took me to Florida for my senior trip, and like a week in Florida, and but he paid for my gym membership. That was my first gym membership. It was with my uncle at World Gym before it closed. And I worked out with him and this guy named Eric. And I've never had a trainer before. I've never had somebody be like, tell me the best way to do everything, and I just kind of like, hey, that guy's really big. Let's go see what he's doing.
Yeah.
why do you do this? They see him do something different. You're like, why do you do this way? What does this do? You know?
Yeah.
You know, am I doing this right? You know, I tried to bug people like that, you know, but you know how it is, you know, interrupting somebody working out. It's serious about it. We know how we feel about that, but
that's right.
But them two, they taught me a lot about more bodybuilding, and I would kind of do that with football. So I would work out with him after school, and then I'd practice on when I had practice.
Didn't you have practice?
So I was working out like crazy then, running a lot. I hated running. But anyway, so football, and then, you know, after I got out of football, I was like, well, I still want to work out, and I was still going with my uncle. So I kind of just took that more seriously and just kind of went from there. I mean,
how'd you get the bug to compete though? When did that come about?
You were one of the reasons.
Okay.
You were one of the
All
reasons.
right.
You, and
okay.
He has that effect on people, doesn't he?
You know, they'll ask me like, you know, when I'm in the gym, I got a good pump or something, they'll come and say like, hey, you know, do you compete? Or, you know, the people just ask me if I compete, and I'm like, no, but I thought about it, you know, because people keep bringing it up. So I'm like, yeah, you know, but I didn't want to step on stage until I knew I belonged on stage. You know, you see some people, these shows, you know, I mean, granted, I give them props for getting on stage, you know. Some of them were really fat, and like one of the guys in my last show, he definitely didn't belong on stage, like nowhere near close. But compared to what he looked like, and he showed us like 80 pounds for his, like, I mean, huge long prep. He's pretty much just lost fat, but huge difference. And he just wanted to prove to his kids that he could do something like this.
Yeah, there you go.
It was really good. Like, you know, and that's one of the things, you know, backstage, like, you know, what you're talking about, national, like, guys not talking to each other. They're just like sitting there in the corner, just like blasting the music in their headphones, not looking at anybody. Like, you know, they're all enemies. You know, we can be backstage and talk to each other. I mean, I have a good time talking to them backstage.
Yeah. Well, you know, to me, in my opinion, when you're backstage, look, the work is done.
Well, yeah, what's done is done.
The work's over.
Yeah.
Now it's time. Have a good time. Get to know people. Network. I mean, we need to be networking with each other.
Right.
Because all the work's done. All we're going to do is step on stage, and the judges are going to pick who's the best.
Exactly.
You know, so, and you made me think of something, Matt, that I've noticed to the gym that I'm at now is more powerlifting based.
Yes.
And that group is pretty tight knit, and they're cheering for each other, even when they're competing. They want them to get that weight up, and they push. And it kind of goes back to what you're saying. But us as bodybuilders, we put our headphones on, and we don't want. I'm looking at Matt, or I'm looking at Alex, and I'm comparing them to me.
Yeah.
And you know, why do we do that?
I don't know. I mean, it's just your personality if you're really competitive, I guess. I mean, but like you said, though, I am competitive, but I realize that, you know, you walk in there, you know, when you do weigh-ins, and you walk in there with your trunks on, and you're like, you know, you get weighed in, and you're like looking like, oh, what's that guy look like, you know?
Uh-huh.
But, you know, everyone's curious, you know, but it's what's done's done. So you can't be mad about it, you know, you can't. There's nothing you can do about it. I mean, there's, you know, few people screw up on these weird, crazy prep things, you know.
Oh yeah.
Like you know, your Palumbo says, you know, it's not good. Like, no,
that's right.
Let's practice the whole year for the Super Bowl, and then the week before change all the plays.
That's right.
Change all the plays.
Yeah.
Our body's gonna love that.
That's it. People don't realize
stomach
that.
problems and
that's it.
Like
you get bloated.
Last time I did keto and I switched. And I kind of did a little drastic switch, you know, got a little happy with carbs. Yeah. I was very full. Believe me, I was filled to the max. I was like about to spill over. But it, you know, going from no carbs at all, you know, increased my insulin sensitivity, and then just smashing carbs. I mean, my body would I could not go to the bathroom. I was taking stool softener, so I was freaking out. I was like, I look like I have a gut. I would walk out there with a belly in plastic. Right. That's great. That's winning. That's gonna win.
That's what you want to have right there now.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So what was the first show you did?
First show was actually in St. Louis, and you know, I don't like to talk about this one because I bombed that one. But
what did you bomb about?
You might as well talk about it.
What did you do that bomb?
I did physique at the St. Louis Pro. And that was the wrong first show to do. The wrong first show to do. There were over 500 competitors between men and women. Just competitors.
I've been
and
up
there
there
were
for that
pros
one.
there. There were pros too. It wasn't just amateurs. There were IFBB pros, and I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So when I was backstage and see some of the pros get ready, I was like, "Good Lord, this is serious." It was a reality check. I'll tell you what, that my first show was a reality check. And you know, I hit the diuretic too fast, too soon. And I was flat, very
flattened
flat.
out.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was not a good deal.
You know, but I'm gonna tell you something. I remember seeing those pictures, and you look phenomenal. Yeah, you looked a little flat.
My posing
but
sucked.
Good.
I had no posing, zero. I learned that too. Like, but I thought, oh, it's just physique. I just walk out there and stand there and put my hand on my hip, you know, just do this. And yeah, it was
a little bit more to it than
yeah.
So
a little more to it than
did
that.
you not know how to pose, or
no? I mean, I tried to watch videos, but remember, you can't teach me to do physique posing. I mean,
right? Yeah,
and I
can't.
didn't really get to.
Understand physique.
I didn't get to meet with that. What's that one guy's name that you had helped me before? Was it Fitness for Less? You know what I'm talking about? The physique guy?
Yeah, I can't remember.
Anyway, yeah, I didn't really get much practice, so. But it was easier whenever, it feels like it was easier to learn classic posing than it was physique. I don't know why, but when you were teaching me the mandatories, I understood it a lot more. I don't know.
Yeah, well, you've got great poses. I'm going to tell you, man, your side chest, to me, is probably your best. I love that pose. You do a great side chest, you know, because you turned that weakness of your legs into a very strong point.
Yeah.
And your legs are big and your hams drop.
Yeah. But I'm you know, I keep looking at pictures and it's almost like, you know, I was happy with what I saw right after the show, but then as soon as I got, you know, now, a few months down the road, it's like I'm looking at my pictures. I'm like, man, I could have come in harder. You know, my glutes seem to be striated, but you know, we know why my glutes were having it. You know, weren't looking right. But I feel like my legs come in a little more striated. I don't know. I just pick myself apart every time I look at it now. Like I said, I was happy in the beginning, and then now I'm like, man, I can bring much better than that. But and hopefully Tyler's going to do that. Yeah.
Oh, speaking of that, so who's coaching you now?
Tyler. Tyler is coaching me. Yeah.
And what his group that he's called? I can't remember. Prestige Physique. Yeah. Tyler's pretty salty. He's a good one.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's really good with conditioning. Looking at his clients, you know, he posts all of them too. He doesn't just post his best ones. You know? So he's saying, like, you know, I work with everybody. You know, I'm not just, you know, going to blow you off. Right. So, you know, and I've got his phone number. You know, Palumbo was really hard to get a hold of, but Tyler's, like, spot on. Like, I'm going to get a hold of him quick. So I like what he's got me on so far.
Yeah.
Feels pretty good. But, you know.
Now, you're in off season right now. You're not going in contest prep, right?
No. I want him to learn my body a little bit first. That's why I didn't just pay for, you know, hey, just do the prep. So, because I could do off season decently, you know, I know how much I need to eat. Yeah. And I know I need to push it, but this way he can kind of figure me out before it's crunch time, you know. Like there's a little room to play around now, but not when I'm on prep. I don't want to have slip ups, you know. I'll just slip up on my own, you know. But
so what's the next show you guys are planning on?
Do what? Next show?
What's the next one?
Well, I'm going to ask him if he'll see what he thinks about me doing the Oklahoma State for a warm-up, the state championship in Oklahoma. Now, so it's kind of like our Arkansas State.
Let me stop you there on that one now. Now, you just won in 2019 to qualify for the Nationals. What show did you do, and what class did you win?
I did Oklahoma Grand Prix, and it was in November 2nd that weekend. And it was a national qualifier, and I won first overall classic physique, and then I won second in novice open heavyweight, and third in open novice heavy. Not open, not novice. I got second in novice and third in open.
Yeah.
So, but that's not the classic weight. So
That's right.
I
That's
was,
dieting down to classic weight.
yes, and still
Yeah.
placing top 3 in
Yeah.
both open or both bodybuilding.
The novice and the open in
And I was
bodybuilding.
I weighed in at 212, so that was the max that I could weigh for classic. Could not weigh anymore. And
Yeah.
so 212, and then the heavyweight goes from like 197 to I think 225.
225.
Yeah. So I was about in the middle. But the height thing, I'm almost 6 foot, so you got a guy that's like 5'9", 5'8", 5'7", and he weighs as much or more than me, then that's why I'm in trouble there.
Yeah.
That's why I kind of still decided to stick with classic, because I think I could have come in bigger at nationals, but not maxed out weight class peeled where I would want to be to feel good enough to step on nationals.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Man, that's awesome. Yeah, you killed it. I thought you looked phenomenal that show.
I just tweaked what I did last time a little bit, added a couple more pancakes, and I went with gluten-free this time. I didn't want to mess with my stomach any more than I already was, because I feel like it's a lot. Like, I feel like my waist is getting bigger, but it's really not. I don't know. My stomach just kind of, and part of it kind of was since I had my appendix surgery. They cut through the strength wall in my core. It got started in my belly button. So maybe it's part of that, but I'm trying to keep my waist down more. I'm focusing on that a lot this time.
Yeah.
If I get my waist as small as possible, that'll make a huge difference for me.
Yeah. Now, is Tyler going to have you doing any cardio during your off season?
And he's got me on 4 days, 25 minutes. Fasted.
25 minutes, yeah.
That's that's a lot for obviously for me.
Yeah.
So, but tomorrow my cardio is going to be go to Defy, that trampoline park over here, and we're going with the girls. So that'll be fun. That'll be some cardio. Yeah.
Yeah. Shoot, that's going to be a tough one. Hey, speaking of the girls, now you've been pretty busy with 2019 when you were competing, and now coming into 2020, you've had some things happen in your personal life. I mean, you've moved into an apartment.
Yeah.
Talk to us a little bit about that. Now you're coming into, relationship with a couple of kids, and y'all are in your apartment, and now you've got bodybuilding, and how is that affecting everybody in the house, if you don't mind talking about it?
Well, it's affecting them in the house. It's kind of like, the fridge is full of my meals and hardly any room for their food. We just got one fridge. At my house, we had the deep freeze, and we had lots of room for that. But because I got to have, 7 meals a day. So it fills up the fridge, and, my supplements everywhere. They want to go get ice cream, and I have to take them, and they're like, "What are you getting?" I'm like, "I can't get anything." But I have to do it. I just have to do it. So I just start saying yes all the time. I'll do it here and there. It's off season. I'm not going to be, that strictly about it. But, it kind of sucks to tell them I can't do, have ice cream with them because, I can't eat it. So.
Right.
But yeah, it's a lot more to take on because, when the 2-year-olds, wanting to play and stuff, and I'm trying to cook meals, and I got to get ready to go to the gym. It's juggling a lot. It's like I really have a lot of respect for those pros that have families. Like Sean Roden has a family.
Yeah.
And that's a lot to balance. A lot. Yeah. Because I'm working full-time nights. I was working 60 hours a week. I was working 2 jobs before my last show. So I was working 60 hours a week, doing an hour of cardio a day, do an hour and a half in the gym, and trying to make meals.
I don't know how you balance all that. How do you keep all that in order? How are you able to?
When I was working that many days in a row, it was exact same repeated every day. It was, get up, eat, go to the gym, or let that process. And while I'm letting that process, I throw some food, cook, and then I'll go to the gym, come back home, have my post-workout, and then go shower, throw my crap in the bag and my food, and just get out the door and go to work. And then at work, I can do anything, pay bills on my phone or whatever. And I was doing my certification course also at the same time. I was doing my I just got that. So
yeah,
doing all those
congratulations.
courses. I was doing all those at work. So that took a while.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the test, so this is great. I work nights. It was like 10 a.m. I'm supposed to be in bed right now.
Yeah.
3-hour test.
Oh, man.
In WAC, I had turned in my phone, my watch, my everything, and walk in there, and I had worked all night, and then I got to take a test, and it was like 150 questions, and they were like a paragraph long each, like a very specific client question, and I'm like, oh, I want to go to bed.
That's rough.
Yeah.
Man. So let me ask you this, all of us are competitors. We all compete. We all have negative things and positive things that have happened to us. What are a couple of, or what's a positive that you've gotten out of bodybuilding, and maybe what's a negative that you've seen that's happened to you or you've experienced? Or
well, I would say a negative would probably be it takes up time. I can't go to school. I can't go to school and do it.
Yeah.
I can't go to school, bodybuild, and work. I can't. And I can't not work enough to do school right now because of the bills I've got. So it's like, we're just trying to push through till she gets through nursing school, and then I can back off working a little bit and work like maybe 2 12-hour shifts. It's only 2 days a week, still 24 hours a week. So I'm bringing some money, but I need to get my classes done because I've been going to school a semester here and there, and I've only got like 4 classes under my belt. So
yeah,
but yeah, positive would be, I feel like the only thing I thought I knew what I wanted to do in high school. I was in an engineering academy. I thought I wanted to be an engineer. I took trips down to the U of A, met with people, like I was going to go in their engineering program, and that was going to be it. And I just hit my senior year, and I decided that's not what I wanted to do. I was taking classes like that in high school to see if I wanted to do it. That way I didn't waste all my money and get in debt.
Right.
So I don't know. I feel like, all my friends have graduated and all this. So I'm like, I'm putting all this into this. I really believe I can take it. I want to get my pro card, obviously. And I keep telling myself I'm not going to compete after that, but who knows? I love it, and I want to take it that far, but I gotta.
It'd be a shame not to do at least one show, one pro show.
Yeah.
To get that card and at least do one show. But,
right.
You've got to make the decision for you and your family. You have to do that,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, see, the girls actually asked me when they could go to a show because they didn't get to go to the last one.
Oh.
Or the one before that. So they want to go, but it's probably not going to be Vegas. If we go to Oklahoma, which is about a month almost exactly before.
Yeah.
It's like June, beginning of June sometime.
Yeah.
And mine's the end of July nationals. Yeah. So I feel like I can do that and then kind of, have my little cheat that night and then kind of get back on the diet. Maybe fill out a little bit for a couple days and then drop back into, prep diet.
Oh, yeah.
And then do nationals. I think Tyler could manipulate that. I don't think I can do it myself, but I've never reverse dieted out. I completely blow out every time. Like 20 pounds in 3 days. 20 pounds in 3 days. Every time.
Some of us have problems with that now. It's hard to reverse. I don't know about Alex, but it's hard for me to reverse out, man.
I still haven't even done my first show yet.
So that's gonna be your first show, Battle of the Bodies?
Yep. That's what I want to ask you, man. What tips do you have for somebody who, is like me in the hunt for their first show just to get their feet wet and, biggest mistakes not to make, that kind of thing. What do you got?
What class are you going to do?
I'm going to do classic physique for sure, and then probably men's physique. I actually got ready for a show last year and then had my son the Monday after the show was supposed to be.
Oh, so
I
you got
didn't end up
kids
getting
too?
to go. I've got three.
3?
I've got a 4-year-old, almost 5, a 3, and a 1-year-old.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, you know how much it is. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to ask you earlier if you've ever used like a meal prep service, because at least for
Man,
this.
I wish I could get sponsored by one of those, please. I mean,
Yep.
come on. If I had to pick any sponsor, forget supplements. Like, I've got kind of a deal with that right now with YTFS.
Yeah.
I like going there. I like, I go to my same guy every time.
Yeah.
And
Now, are they sponsor? Are they helping sponsor you with supplements, or
I get a discount?
You just kind of get a discount.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he gives me a really good discount. So it's, and I don't like waiting for stuff to get ordered, because I like Redcon 1 and I get a lot of their stuff, and they have a lot of deals every week. I feel like they have a big deal. Aaron's birthday was a couple days ago.
Yeah.
Buy one, get one free, everything.
Man.
I really wanted to get
deal.
some. I wanted to get on that. A 5-pound thing of whey ISO is like $80. So get one of those for free. That's great. I'd stock up on that. YTFS can't do that.
Right.
They won't do that. So, I mean, I get a pretty good deal. I usually get NutriBio, but it's just whatever I can get for a decent deal.
Yeah.
I guess, because I go through it. That's another thing with kids. The money you got to think about. It's not about you, and bodybuilding is kind of a selfish sport. I mean, that's just how it is. It's not. I mean, it doesn't mean you're a selfish person. It's just the nature of it. But I mean, you got to think about get them food too. You go through like $800 a month in food. You got to remember they have to have food. So it's a whole other thing, another set of things to remember.
Yeah. Yeah. So what would be probably your best tip for somebody like Alex coming in his very first show? What would you recommend? Maybe, hey, make sure you don't do this, or you've got to do this. What would you think?
I really like the people in NPC Oklahoma. That's kind of why I picked my national qualifier in Oklahoma too, because I really like the people that are in that organization. I like the judges, and they judge fairly. So they will have you out there a while. Let me tell you, that was another mistake I made. I went and watched previous shows, not Oklahoma shows, but I watched, just amateur NPC shows, kind of the same level, to kind of see how things flowed, get an idea of that in your head. I hate going somewhere and not knowing what's going on. And it shows bad on me. Like, I look like a chicken with my head cut off. So that's part of, like, I didn't really have much confidence either my first show. There's another problem I had besides just posing in general. You gotta walk out there like you're just practicing posing. Like, don't stress yourself out. You're going in to get a pump, and you're gonna go. It's just like, think about it like the gym. Only you're not doing a full blown workout. You get a pump, go in there in the mirror, do your poses, and get out, and you're done. So I mean, just stay relaxed.
So don't overthink it.
Don't overthink it. Yeah. And don't do anything crazy with, I'm sure you got a plan or whatever, but just I wouldn't do anything drastic, because just like I said, you're changing it up the last minute, your body's not going to be ready for that.
Yeah.
I've been to a few shows.
I would say, they had us out there probably 30 seconds every, I wouldn't say 30 seconds. It was a while for every pose. I mean, they're going to keep you out there a while. They're going to judge you. They're not just going to run you in and out. That's what I thought was going to happen, and I wasn't conditioned for that. I wasn't ready for that my first time. I was sweating. Like, the lady had to come over and, wipe me off because I was dripping my spray tan. I was sweating bad. Like, I was just doing a big workout, cardio. Yeah. So, that's not good. That just shows I'm out of shape. So it's kind of hard to hide that. They see you sweating, like, that guy wasn't conditioned enough, and that's going to be my thing next show. But just practice your posing as if each pose is for 30 seconds. Joe showed me this timer. You might want to message Joe Wilson. He's got this, timer app that it'll, you can set your phone over there on the ground or whatever, and it'll take a video of you so you can watch it later and, take screenshots of it for your poses to send your coach or whatever. and then it will beep for you every time you need to change pose. Like it'll be like beep, and then you quarter turn, like beep, whatever. So that would be kind of good. Do it by yourself.
Yeah, I'll message Joe. See what I just saw him today, actually.
Yeah.
See if I can get that app so I can start
Pose
working
with
on
him
that.
too. Pose with him. Do you go to that? Yeah, honestly, I didn't. I tried to talk to Reno and get him to help me with posing, and he is like the hardest man to get a hold of. You cannot get a hold of him, and that's what Joe said too. He's like, I message him all the time about coming to these posing seminars and helping him out, and or him helping us out, and he just doesn't even answer. If he shows up, he shows up. So I was like, okay, well, I guess I just went to all the posing seminars, the ones they have at J Street. Just go to all those. Make every second of it. Don't just stand around and talk like all the girls do there half the time. Yeah. You go over there and just start posing. Like start the timer, start posing.
There's one on Sunday.
I did the JC a lot too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. JC, you like to pose a lot.
Yeah, he was good.
Yeah.
But I would say that, because posing, my first show, like James said, I looked good. Like, I looked good enough to beat everyone that was in that class in novice. Yeah. So, it was all my posing. I didn't present well at all. It was terrible. It was bad.
But you know what? You learned from that.
I did. Yeah, I did. And I went back, and I've not lost a show since.
That's right. You've not lost a show yet.
Nope. So.
That's awesome.
It put me in a reality check.
Yeah. Hey, let me ask you this. I was watching a podcast with Dusty Hanshaw and Ron Partlow, and they were talking to James Hollingshead. And he was talking about when he's driving to go to the gym, he's listening to classical music. Or like Jordan Peters. Yeah. And Jordan Peters is like listening to the Lion King soundtrack.
Wow.
To get them prepared to get into the gym. I mean, so, what do you do? How do you prepare your mind when you know you're going to the gym? I mean, what are you doing? Hard, metal? Are you listening to classical? Or what are you doing to get your mind ready to go in and hit a workout?
I kind of mix it up. Sometimes those Machiavelli motivation, I really like those. I like Dorian Yates, any Dorian Yates videos. Ronnie Coleman, sometimes if I'm trying to really lift heavy,
Yeah.
Like you played that video at Fitness for Less whenever I was doing the 4 plates on straight leg beds. Yeah. Played the Ronnie Coleman.
Come on, man.
I like that. But I like a lot of like Breaking Benjamin, like not really like screamo or metal, but like, some stuff like that. Yeah. Sometimes I'll listen to rap, but it just depends. Mostly like Breaking Benjamin, 3 A's Grace, something like that. But yeah, I'm blasting that. I'm drinking my pre-workout. I'm thinking about what I'm gonna do, how I'm gonna do it, how long I'm gonna be there, stuff like that. But I mean, some days some days I don't want to go at all.
Yeah.
Some days I just want to sleep. There's gonna be a lot of days like that. There's a lot of days I didn't want to get up and go to practice of football. Like spring practice, we had to be on the field, full pads, dressed out, starting to stretch at like 6:30 a.m.
Yeah.
So I was waking up at like 4, and then I had a 0 hour after that, and then I had to, 7 more classes after that, and then go to practice after school. So I mean.
So what makes you get up on those days, Matt, that you don't want to go? What makes you get up and go?
Well, for football, for example, I really wanted to quit very many times. I hated it. The coaches just, they really mess with your head sometimes. They really make you mad. And I kept telling myself, I know that at the end of the year, I would get the jersey, the senior jersey, home jersey, framed, my jersey. I'd get it. And I wanted that to put on my wall to say I finished it.
Yeah.
I didn't want to quit and not be able to get that and say that I did that. And I knew that if I quit, I would regret it. Because I tried so hard to get into it. It's like, I've wanted to do this for years. I wanted this. I'm going to finish it. Like, I'm not going to just walk away from it. So, I mean, and then with the bodybuilding thing, it's kind of like the same thing. I've already gotten this far. I could possibly get my pro card in my first national show. I think it's possible. I'm believing it's possible.
Sure.
It's another thing, like they were talking about, it was Juan Morel and Fuad, and they were talking about, he said that all this whole time he's trained and thought in his mind, like, I'm training for top 3 in the Olympia or top 5, like, and I'll be happy. Like, that's it. That's all I want. And he was talking to Fuad. He's like, I was thinking to myself the other day at the gym, he's like, why the hell am I thinking like that? Why am I thinking like that? Why? Like, he's like, I've been on stage with every one of those people that's won. He's like, Brandon Curry, all those other guys. He's like, I was on stage with him before. I beat him before. He's like, I beat Brandon before, and he's still Mr. Olympia. He's like, he changed. Why can't I change? So he's like, I'm training for first place now. I'm not going to keep that mindset of top 3 or whatever. I want first place. And that's kind of the mindset I've got with nationals. It's like, you need to work hard enough that I want one and done. I qualify for nationals my first shot. I want to get my pro card my first shot. And who knows, if I do really well at nationals, maybe there's a pro show the next month or something. I might hop into that. I don't know. That would be a shock. That would really put the spotlight on me. And that's kind of what I'm trying to do. Yeah. Like, no one knows who I am yet, but I guarantee if I go and just blow out nationals the first try, they're gonna be like, okay, who is this guy?
That's right.
So
well, you've got the genetics.
Yeah,
you definitely have that, and you've got the work ethic in the gym too.
But me getting this far, that's what tells me, like, you're sitting there and you know how it is, like, off season right now. I'm looking at my food and I've had the same bite in my mouth for like 5 minutes, and I'm just sitting there just chewing on it, like,
that was actually going to be one of my next questions I wanted to talk to you about.
Yeah. So it's like,
I was watching Hunter Labrada, and he was talking with I think Dusty and Ron or something, and he was talking. He's got a Vitamix blender, and he blends his steak until it's liquefied, and he drinks it because he's trying to eat it, man. We'll sit there for hours looking at our food. So how do you make yourself do that?
I just tell myself that whoever's first place did not leave their food. They did take that last bite, those last 2-3 bites. They did those extra 5 minutes of cardio that you cut short. Like, the person that's at the end of the day, the person that's going to win is the person that's not missing a beat. Yeah. That's just in every aspect of it, who's getting their sleep, getting there. That's what, like, I think Luke Sandow made a video with Redcon about, like, what it takes to be a pro bodybuilder or something, like what it means or something like that. And that's what he's saying. He's like, it's not just check one box. It's like you check all the boxes. Yeah. You need to check all the boxes every day, that consistently. So and people will say at work, they're like, well, don't eat it then. And I'm like, I have to. That's what I tell myself. Like, you have to eat this. It's not, I want to quit. I don't want to eat anymore. I'll eat it in a minute. I'll put it over to the side. Then it gets cold and it gets thrown away. No, you're eating it, and you have to eat it. I mean, it sucks. Honestly, I'd rather be in prep. I'd rather starve. I would. I think I'd rather starve. I used to not think that, but I really do think that now. I'd rather starve. Yeah.
No, I had to send James some Rich Piana Machiavelli motivation videos.
Yes.
On just eat your food,
Have you seen the CT Fletcher one? It's like, you're not dieting for taste.
That's right. That's right. Alex sent me that, and man, I can promise you, I will play every one of Rich Piana, and I'll have to do it because I won't eat it.
Yeah, I'll just sit there. My meal.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I'll play it during my meal that Alex sent me, and I'll just shove it in and make it go down.
You can't eat a little more food?
Well, what's a little more food?
Yeah, what's a little more food? Yeah, it's so easy to say when you're not in that position.
That's right.
Like,
that's right.
That one more bite, I'm going to throw up. Like
That's right.
I've thrown up in my mouth to some point, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna stop. Like
Yeah.
it's better than throwing up because then I just have to start all over. I'd rather stop now. One of the guys in one of the eating motivation videos, he's like, I eat until I'm going to throw up, and then I do it again in 3 hours or 2 hours or
Right.
whatever. He's like, I eat until I'm about to throw up, and then I wait 2 hours and I do it over again, all day, every day.
And that's our lifestyle.
It is. It is.
Right.
People
Everything
think
we
it's crazy.
do is crazy because
Yeah,
our whole day and our whole life is broken down into 3-hour increments.
it is. It really is. I'm looking
It
at the
really
clock, my
is.
12-hour shift. I'm like, okay, I've got to eat it this time, this time, this time.
That's right.
Yeah.
So what
You
do you
know?
do for work? What do you do for a job that you can eat every 3 hours?
Oh, and see, that's one of the reasons. See, my job doesn't pay the best, but it's really stress free, and I love the people I work with, and
Yeah.
it's I can eat on my schedule.
There you go.
So I basically, you know what an EKG is?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's basically like a bunch of those at once I'm watching. So there's screens and there's multiple patients. Like I work at a long-term care, so there's not very many patients. It's Regency Hospital in Springdale, so it's in the same building as Northwest Medical, but it's not
But it's not
the same company. It's not the same hospital.
So you can watch the EKGs while you kind of
So
do food.
yeah. I mean, there's alarms and stuff. You know, I look up if there's an alarm. You know, while I'm eating. You know, they've got paperwork and stuff. I'm pretty much like a nice secretary too, but it's really a chill job, and I can eat at my desk, and you know, have my water, and I have, you know, I've got everything I need, and
Yeah.
that kind of. It's also the bad part about it is I'm sitting for a while. I try to stand up and walk when I can, and I've even done my cardio at work and while I'm prep. I go run the stairs on break.
Yeah.
That's how I couldn't get it in. 12-hour shift plus training. So hour and a half of cardio plus an hour and a half of training plus 12 hours of work. Like that doesn't add up. Like I can't do that. I'm not gonna. And I towards the end of prep, I was sleeping probably 4 hours a night. So I hated it. I felt like crap. And it's part of feeling like crap. You can't sleep. I mean, you can't recover. You just don't feel good.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Man, that's a tough one. See, and that's, you know, for us that have job, you know, regular full-time jobs, it's hard.
Yeah.
You know, we got to go to work. You know, we try to eat. You know, not everybody has a job that they can sit down and eat.
Right.
You
and
know,
really, you know, I have to have someone sit there to watch the monitors while I go get food warmed up. So now I can't always do that. It's like one of them has to be free to sit, and not all of them are certified in that. So not all of them can sit, and it's like, so, but they all know I've worked there for 3 years. They know when I eat. They almost know what time I eat now because I eat at the same time every night. This is what one of the other guys said on motivational videos. He's like, you have to eat like a dog. Dogs eat measured amounts, good quality food every day.
Yeah.
And they look the way they should look.
That's it.
So you gotta eat like a dog. Exact same thing every day. People are like, I don't know how you do that. And I'm like, honestly, I'm pretty lazy. I don't think I could make all these fancy like the clean cooking meal, like these meal prep meals, like all these fancy looking meals. I'm like, no,
That's right.
The food is for a purpose. I eat for a purpose, not for pleasure.
That's right.
Like I don't care what it even looks like. I just need to eat. I know I need to eat this much of that, and that's it. You know, I don't want to mix up all the meals and have to measure out those macros and all that. I mean, that's another thing. I'm glad to have a coach now. I don't have to think about that. I just go make the food.
Make the food.
Make the food. Trust the plan. Let it go.
Yeah.
Not stress about it. Just trust what he says. And unless I really feel like something's not going right, then I'm just gonna ride it out.
Heck yeah, that's awesome. Alex, I know you've got a few more questions, I think, that you need to ask him. Or
if we need to wrap up though, I know what time it is.
You know, we've kept you on for almost an hour. We got to wrap it up in the next 4 to 5 minutes.
Hey, who's your favorite bodybuilder?
Who's my favorite?
Yeah.
You know, I'd say it'd have to be. I don't know. Rich Piana really wasn't I guess, a bodybuilder. I mean, he was. But
Yeah.
He was. He competed.
So I would say it's between him and I guess one that compete, an Olympia, winner. I would say definitely Dorian Yates.
Yeah.
I really like Luke Sandow right now too.
Yeah.
As far as
All
new
the big
bodybuilders, I like Luke. He's hilarious. I like watching his videos.
Yeah.
He's good. I like Juan Morel too. He's good. So, and he's got a
Plan to
family.
move up.
So I
Plan
really
to move up to the Open.
Do what?
You gonna plan on moving up to the Open from Classic Physique, or you gonna stick to Classic?
I think James, did you find out about that? I thought we talked about how someone told me that when I qualify in Classic, I can do anything at Nationals, and then if I get my pro card in Classic, I can still do bodybuilding as a pro. Is that right?
Here's what I would say to that. I don't know about the Nationals, but I know if you become a pro in Classic, I'm almost 100% sure that you can go to Open because Regan Grimes did it.
Yeah. See, okay, that's what I thought he did. He won the Arnold. He got his pro card in Classic, and then he went to Open.
And then he went to Open, and then he came back to Classic, and then he went back to Open.
Right.
So yes. Once you get your pro card, I think you can move that up.
Yeah, I'm gonna
move it down. Or move it down.
Yeah, and that's what I told James. I said if I don't win this national qualifier, I'm going to take a break, take a whole year, and get as big as I can, and move up to Open. That was the plan. But I did win, so I did qualify. So I was like, all right, there's no point in getting as big as possible because I'm already 238 fasted right now, and my cutoff is 212. I got up to 245 fasted last time. I think I hit 250 this time, and then take a little bit longer to cut. That's probably gonna work out pretty good. But yeah,
man, that's awesome. I've had to cut 60 pounds, man, for a show to get down to my weight.
60 pounds.
And it's hard to do. It's hard to do.
And you're older. Your metabolism.
And look, I'm old. I'm old, man. I mean, when you're in your late 40s, it's tough to get down 60 pounds.
Yeah, Fuad was saying that. He's like, after 35 or something like that, he's like, my body just didn't digest food the same. Nothing was the same.
Yeah.
So.
Well, both of y'all know I've had my own problems with digestion. Once I got up to 264, man, my body, I don't know what happened. It wasn't liking it.
No.
It just
my body fights me in all ways possible already.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be hard if I want to move up to bodybuilding, but definitely just gonna try to get my pro card in Classic for sure.
Yeah, yeah, and you're gonna do great because you got a great physique, great genetics, work ethic. You got it.
Yep.
I'm hoping I can make it happen.
And I'm excited to see what you do.
Yeah, it's gonna be 2020 for you.
Yeah, I was hoping you could come. You said you said you're not able to though, right? I think we talked about it.
Which one?
For the Vegas show?
Depending on when it is.
It's the end of July.
We'll try to get there. I want to see you go for that pro card.
Yeah.
Yeah, my wife and I will try to do whatever. Yeah, we can. I think we can swing that.
Okay.
I want to get out and see you.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be only probably you and then Kim and my parents. So I don't think I can convince anybody else to come out there.
That's all right. Well, Matt, hey, we've been on here for an hour, and I've got another call I've got to get on, and man, I really appreciate you being with us. We're going to be watching you this year, man, and supporting you. Hopefully, we'll get you back on as you get on up in your prep. Then definitely when you're starting to come down, we want to have you and talk about how all your experiences are going. And man, we just really appreciate you being with us for this opening episode of Chasing the Card.
All right. I appreciate it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I'll be back on again.
All right.
You have a good day at work.
Right. That's right. Go have a good one.
Yeah. All right. Talk to y'all later.
All right. We'll see you later. Man, that was a great interview we had with Matt. There, it went a little long today, but he had a lot of good information.
Oh, yeah.
There was a lot of, I've known Matt for quite a few years, and there was a lot of stuff that I had no idea about Matt's personal life, because I always see him in the gym.
For sure.
So I really didn't know all about that personal side, but I'm glad he brought that out because a lot of it is kind of the same way, kind of like the way I grew up, but he's, it's great to sit here and listen to him, how he's developing. I think he's only done 3 or 4 shows. his whole career, and he's already qualified for nationals. He's done a great job.
Yep.
Yeah, he's impressive. I thought he did a great job. Man, what'd you think about it, Alex?
And I thought it was really interesting to hear, kind of his backstory behind the whole thing. And I can't wait to see what he's going to do in 2020. And I tell you what, guys, if you enjoyed that interview with Matt, don't forget to like and subscribe. And then if you have an idea of somebody you would want to see us bring on the show for another interview, drop it in the comments below.